What's good? You are listening to Daniel and Gian Talk Shit. I am Gian Perez, and with me, as always, my co-host, Daniel Trujillo. What's up, dude? It's been a long time since we've done a regular podcast, and Daniel's like going crazy looking at what's trending on Facebook right now with Carlos. By the way, welcome back, Carlos.
What's up?
I don't think, how long has it been? Like fucking a year?
Since you randomly clicked on that Indian movie.
We have to speak up. I don't have my headphones. I can't hear you.
No, I can hear myself.
Oh.
Carlos is back. He's going to be back now full time. Hopefully, we have a new space. Don't mind the lack of decorations. They're still cleaning this place up, but we have a space. No longer just shooting at my house or at an office anymore. How's it going, man?
It's good. It's going good. It's nice to be in a new spot.
Yeah.
It's good because that means there's gonna be a lot of new things in store for everybody.
We're gonna be more up to date too. So like, not gonna have a.
We have no water in this spot.
No
so
water. We have no water.
Swallows your spit, Gian.
No liquids whatsoever. And I just had a tag along. I always thought those were tag-alongs. I was like, these are Filipino cookies. It's Girl Scout cookie season. For all you
I just had a small portion of them. They're pretty good.
But before we start the podcast, Daniel asked me, my wife. I got to the spot kind of late because my wife got home. She had to take care of a bunch of stuff, but she had a sexual harassment issue at work.
Allegedly, we don't know if this is actually true.
The guy copped to it, but so the scenario is, and let's see.
Just trying to avoid lawsuits here.
Let's see what you think about it. Well, I'm not dropping any names or anything.
It's true.
The scenario is so. This girl got hired at one of the stores a week ago, and she matched with the assistant manager on Tinder in December.
What was her position?
She was just a cashier.
Just
yeah,
bottom of the food chain.
She had no idea this guy worked there, and had no idea she was gonna be working with him. But he apparently because they matched on Tinder. He started texting her. He got her number through the employee handbook thing, and I feel like I'm talking to myself. Jesus Christ!
Turn it off when you're not talking, because I can hear the mic movement. Sorry.
Jesus Christ! Were you listening to anything?
I heard you. Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a fucking radio show, and the radio host's like, yeah, and he's doing touching all the knobs and making sure. If you ever listen to Colin Cowherd interview people, totally sounds like yeah. Totally sounds like he's not listening to the guest whatsoever. But anyway,
trying to look up the next.
So the guy got the girl's number and started texting her, and then he told her he swiped for 40 minutes trying to find her profile again to try to connect with her, and then he started talking about do you remember what I said? I guess he said some creepy shit, and that's why she unmatched him, and he brought it up again, and he straight up said hey, maybe we can get drunk and fuck by the pool or something like that. Let's get a hotel, and straight up said we can fuck. And something about, I guess in one of her Tinder pictures, she's wearing lingerie at a rave. And he's like, man, that was so fucking hot. And he asked her, remember what I said? You remember what I told you? Remember what I told you?
As if that was going to be
yeah,
open the floodgates.
So she didn't
I remember.
So she didn't go into
Take
work.
me.
She didn't go into work because she didn't feel comfortable. And she came in later and showed all the text messages to the person helping out, one of the managers helping out. And yeah, that got back to my wife, and
so it was, obviously no one knows where these people work, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Does that mean, is that grounds for firing?
So he's immediately suspended.
While they figure it out, right?
Yeah, they figure it out.
Probably without pay.
Yeah. And I mean, I heard the phone call where he said, hey, so my wife was like, what's going on with these text messages? Do you think that's appropriate? And the guy's like, no, I messed up. I totally should have sent that. Totally inappropriate.
I asked if she's going to get fired.
With all this Hollywood shit that's going on right now,
but is that grounds?
Is that abuse of
in
power.
your opinion? Is that grounds for firing?
Yes.
And why is that? Not legally, whatever, but as a personal moral issue. Why do you feel like that's
because
justifiable?
It's harassment. You don't. Number one, I thought they had some sort of contact. Maybe they used to date or something. No, this person you don't even know, and you're sending hey, you want to go fuck by the pool messages to someone that's under you as well. You're their boss.
No, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah,
it is creepy.
I think,
but I'm just asking. The reason why I'm asking this is do you feel like there is a separation from being at home and being at work? Or do you feel like it doesn't matter, however you are at home dictates how you're going to be looked at or how you might potentially act in the workplace and your liability? Or do you feel like there should be a separation?
See, I think if you like, you know,
I'm not justifying the actions. I'm asking.
No, I think, you know, to quote our friend Prodigy from Be the BTI, you know, nobody should be kink shamed. So if you're like, if at home you're into pegging and whips and chains and, you know, having dominatrix like step on your balls
or sex dolls,
dolls, whatever, like that's what you do at home. But if you're trying to involve someone at work, that's where there's a line.
What about workplace relationships then?
I mean, those happen.
What if it was what if the story was they swiped on Tinder, they hooked up, and then maybe it was just a bad night. Not saying anything bad happened, but just it was a bad night, and it was that was it.
Did they stop talking to each
other?
They
stopped, maybe not stop. Well, they worked together, right?
I mean, were the texts happening from that bad night?
Well, I don't know. I'm just no. Let's just assume that everything was fine, and then
these things happen.
Turned out being,
these are like young entry level positions. They're young people. Like this shit happens, and I understand that. But this isn't that. This is none of that.
Well, it's clearly beyond that. Yeah. Again, he's literally saying creepy ass shit.
Different justifications.
100%. Okay. I know. Because it's like Donald Sterling, right? Like those are home tapes. What does that have to do with him running the Clippers?
Right. Well, that's a little different too. Because that's a private organization. That's the thing. Like it's, I feel like these things shouldn't affect you if you're a public servant. You know, like Donald Sterling shouldn't lose his job. You know,
because he owns the Clippers. Because they were his Clippers.
But it's not. This is the way it's been explained to me. When it comes to owning a basketball franchise, you're not the owner per se. You're more like part of a country club. You're a member
30
of a
other owners
club.
Or however many
exactly.
basketball
and if you
teams.
do something that could potentially embarrass
they'll take them out.
They could take that privilege.
Well, see, the thing is, though, it's like...
He still got paid handsomely.
Because he sold him.
He got paid way more than what he paid
I'm sure he did. And my whole thing is, though, it's like...
I understand these things happen in his private, you know...
Is there a separation, and is there a separation, but is there a line?
I don't remember Dave Chappelle was defending him. You know, I remember that because he was saying like, hey, you know, yeah, the guy's a piece of shit.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar defended him.
Yeah, because
he wrote a whole op-ed about how...
Because he was illegally taped by this chick, his mistress, or whatever the fuck that situation was.
Gold digger, I think.
Yeah.
Sloot.
You know, and I mean, we could argue about if what he said was all that terrible anyways, you know. It was just,
it really wasn't.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to, you know.
Well, I'm saying he didn't say racist stuff. He just said don't take pictures with black guys. He said you can have sex with them. You just can't take pictures with them.
I think he meant specific. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I mean, in the guy itself, he made his fortune as a fucking slumlord. You know what I mean? So he was already.
My whole point.
It's like people that run check cashing businesses. You know, you're a fucking loan shark. You are a
dressed up.
You're a legal loan shark.
That's what I'm saying.
Taking advantage of fucking poor people.
I think that Donald Sterling might be on the line. I think he probably shouldn't have been there. But he was also older, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like what happened at this place of business is over the line. Right. You can't. That's indefensible. Because to me, if he's gonna act like that privately, then he probably could act like that potentially in the workplace, as opposed to Donald Sterling, which is like borderline, where it's like, well, it's not like he hired no black people in his business and organization, right? It's not like he didn't have these people. Obviously, Blake Griffin was huge on the Clippers, but you know what I'm saying. Right. It's not like he went all white or something. It's not like he made the Patriots for the Clippers.
Yeah.
But that doesn't excuse what he said, which is why I kind of think it's on that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's creepy. That would be really weird. Like, I think that guy probably should get fired, or relocated at the least. Go Catholic church style and just like move him to another branch so they can't have any contact. If he's a good worker, if he's like, if he has his worth, and you know maybe it was a slip up, which I doubt because that's such a weird thing to say. Like you have to be saying this all the time if you're saying it once like that.
There's aggressive,
in my opinion,
there's aggressive dudes out there, man.
Right, that's my point.
It's fucking weird, and I don't know
because I'm sure it works every once in a while.
He's a Hispanic guy too, you know. It's not like he was this frat boy, you know.
Well, I don't know what to say other than it's pretty repulsive.
Yeah,
but the reason why I was
let's talk
freaking
about
out.
the Super Bowl real quick. Super Bowl just happened.
Well, hold on 1 second. I wanted to talk to why I was freaking out real quick. It said, click on the Spirit Airlines article. That apparently Spirit made a woman flush her hamster down the toilet.
It was her emotional support hamster.
It was her emotional support hamster. Okay.
She's fucking hot.
Wait, hold on. Click on the article. Let's read it. This is more important than the Super Bowl, in my opinion. So, woman in Florida says an airline. Oh my God, fucking ads. A woman in Florida says an airline told her to flush her hamster down an airport toilet
is right there, Belén Aldecosia.
Because the emotional support rodent wasn't allowed to fly with her. Really? So did she do it? The 21-year-old told the paper she flushed pebbles at an airline employee's suggestion after running out of other options. Panicked and needing to return home promptly to deal with the medical issue, I don't know how to pronounce her name, was unable to rent a car and agonized for hours. Scroll down, keep going. She was scared. Hold on. She was scared. I was scared. It was horrifying trying to put her in the toilet. I was emotional. I was crying. I sat there for a good 10 minutes crying in the stall. A spokesperson for Spirit acknowledged the airline mistakenly told... Wow, they acknowledged it. Sorry. That they told her that pebbles was allowed. But he denied that a Spirit employee recommended flushing it. Okay, never mind. I didn't read it all. Sorry. To be clear, at no point did any of our agents suggest this guest or any other, for that matter, should flush or otherwise injure an animal. She's considering suing them, etc., etc. What do you think?
Was she gonna sue him for the fucking $6 she paid for the hamster?
It's a live animal.
Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something. Where the fuck was his hamster? Wasn't in its cage? Would she ever have him in her fucking jacket pocket?
I don't know. Well, it doesn't say. It could have been in a cage.
I don't understand. Like, if it's
it was an emotional support hamster,
okay,
Gian.
No. When the fuck are we gonna draw the line when it comes to fucking support animals? Like, you heard about the peacock, right? Some fucking bitch tried to bring a peacock on the fucking
what happened
airplane.
on the peacock?
This bitch tried to bring a peacock on the fucking airplane, saying it was an emotional support peacock.
Same thing.
What the fuck, man? At some point, we gotta draw the line and say, yo, fucking 10-pound dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can bring a 10-pound dog.
You know, people get support dogs so they can bring them into restaurants.
I know.
Like, they don't need anything.
I know.
I can get you the vest.
It's fucking horse shit, man.
Just get the vest.
It's horse shit, dude.
So what do you think it is then? She didn't want to pay.
Check it out, man.
Pay a fee to send the animal.
I don't know what I mean, maybe it was an emotional support hamster, but maybe they told her, hey, you can't bring this shit out. You can't take him out of its cage, and then she started freaking out. I don't know. Or maybe she's fucking crazy, and she was carrying around a hamster in her fucking hat, like she's wearing a hat, and the fucking thing's like running around. I don't know. I mean, she's hot.
But they made her. Well, they didn't say. They're gonna deny it, of course.
Deny it,
but
yeah.
I'm sure that.
I mean, how long was this fucking flight till you can't like what happened? I don't.
She could have put it up her ass.
There is more shit that's going on with the story
like
that we don't know. There's like fucking details. That's a Richard Gere joke, by the way. They say Richard Gere got a gerbil stuck in his ass. I mean, what website is this? Is it even a real fucking website?
Telegraph UK.
Telegraph.
I've never even heard of Telegraph, man.
Well, it was on Facebook, okay, so it has to be real.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like this is fake news. I don't know. I know the peacock shit is real, but like, I'm serious.
Look at his face.
I'm serious. Like
such a cute hamster.
This motherfucker, like, people are bringing 300-pound fucking.
Okay, if it were your hamster.
On their fucking plane.
Okay, hold on, for real, real talk, because it does say that they admitted that they said that she could bring the hamster on. They said that we did tell her that. So if you had a hamster, let's say it was your kid's hamster, it wasn't even your fucking hamster, it was your kid's hamster, and he's old enough to know that it's his hamster too. It's not like his baby hamster where he doesn't even know. You go to take it, and they're like, no, you can't do it. What do you do?
Then you gotta tell me what to do. I'm not.
But you're not home though. Remember, you're not home. You're like in San Francisco.
I'm not flushing this shit down the toilet. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something out, man.
You tell him it ran away, and then get him a new one that looks the same.
See, I wouldn't do that. I would just hide it. Just hide it in your bag, and then take it out. Like put it in your carry-on, or like hold it in your jacket pocket.
It running around in your purse. I don't fucking know, man.
You could put in check luggage, I think.
No, that's how it dies. That's how you ensure its death.
I don't know.
Would you flush it down the toilet though?
No, I would not flush it down the toilet.
Me fucking either.
No,
like
you're gonna have to pry this fucking hamster out of my cold dead hands. You know.
But anyway, sorry, I saw that headline.
I'm serious though. Like, is it not getting crazy How the fuck are you gonna try to bring a peacock on the motherfucking plane?
Look at the picture of the peacock.
She's on the phone.
Who the fuck has a pet peacock?
Dude, I can't even stand like dogs on a plane.
Fucking people, man. I don't know. Dude, I drove someone yesterday from Canada, and they said that this dude's got like a 150-pound dog that he brings on the plane as a most.
He has to buy the seat.
Like total bullshit, so they didn't have to pay for the dog to put the fucking dog on the plane. Yeah, they get their own seat. Like it's kind of like right now at Comic-Con, you can get the ADA sticker, the handicap sticker or disabled, whatever fucking sticker you want to call it.
Yeah.
Not like we. Anyways, you can get that. You just say, "Hey, I need an ADA sticker." You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to bring a fucking note. You just say, "I need an," and they can't question it. So you got a ton of fucking able-bodied regular people.
There's an absurdity to handicap bullshit. The Penn and Teller show, they did a skit on it way back then. Well, it's not a skit, but they did an episode on it, and it was just like yes, there should be certain things that should be done for disabled people without a shadow of a doubt. You know, making sure that like curbs are accessible.
Absolutely.
You know, like things like you can't argue about
and ramps.
That. Ramps, yeah. Exactly. Like these are valid things, but a handicap parking spot, really, is that 100% essential for every single person who's handicapped?
Right.
No, because how many times have you seen
some 750-pound motherfucker who just doesn't want to go on a
or
diet.
whatever it might be, and
someone
they have one, and they
just stressed out. Like my stress, I just get really
and
stressed
see,
out.
That's where it's ridiculous, and that's where it's just like, no. But anyway,
Carlos Mencia used to make a joke about how
the DTDs.
No, he was like, I don't understand why people in wheelchairs get to park up front when they don't have to fucking walk; they can just roll. That takes way less effort than the rest of us.
Who did he steal that from?
I was gonna say, I wonder who he stole that joke from. Man, that's funny. But okay, Super Bowl. What did you think? I
mean, it was a shootout. It was.
I wanted the Patriots to win.
It was
exciting.
exciting.
I'll just say that.
I had a good time watching it, but I guess I want to talk more about the halftime show and all this.
How it was shitty.
Well, I mean, you're not a Justin Timberlake fan. You're not just Timberlake for whatever. But the controversy before the halftime show was that Prince in an interview before he died was talking shit about the Tupac hologram, saying that he never wants to be represented like that after he dies. Like, you know, he's dead. He doesn't think that it's right for anyone to use someone else's likeness like that again, and he thinks that's like, it's invasive. It's predatory. Because someone else is going to be making a bunch of money off of your debt. No, it was supposed to be a hologram, but I think I thought, I was kind of with them. Like, hologram, it's in poor taste. Not again. And they're doing it because he's from Minneapolis and the Super Bowl was in Minnesota. But
holograms in general or holograms for the Super Bowl?
Holograms in general. Like, I don't know.
So in Blade Runner, when they have that Elvis, you wouldn't go pay to watch an Elvis hologram show?
I might just for the gag one time, but
I would. I've never seen Elvis.
I mean, you're also talking about a fucking movie that's like super futuristic.
Well, no, I'm just saying though, like, I would pay to see an older artist perform, like Jimi Hendrix or something.
You're not really seeing that.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%.
Watch a fucking movie.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just saying.
No, I don't think I would. I think it's fucking weird. It's weird. They did that with that at Coachella with Tupac. That's where it all started.
Yeah, I know.
And it's.
I wouldn't. Oh, I would never go to any Coachella event because it's.
That's neither here nor there.
Waste money. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted about Prince. Go ahead.
I just think it's fucking weird. So they changed their mind. They didn't do a hologram. Instead, they did like a tribute. And he wasn't like the hologram wasn't performing alongside Justin Timberlake. It was like just video footage in the background.
Right, and he was singing. They were singing each other.
And then they did this really cool thing where they did these lights outside of Minneapolis.
That was cool.
Symbol, like that was pretty cool. And it was just like I think it was like 2-minute fucking spot. It wasn't even the entire song. So I thought they made a good choice in not doing the hologram. And if people saying there was a hologram, no, it wasn't, because he wasn't fucking performing. It was like video montage footage.
Yeah, it looked like it was on a projection on a screen.
Exactly.
Well, what's the controversy? Why are you bringing it up?
Oh, just wondering what you thought about it. The controversy was that people were like Prince, because Prince stated he didn't want shit like this, but I don't think they did a tribute. It wasn't a hologram performance. So I don't think, and there's people still complaining about it. I'm like, at this point, you don't really have a fucking.
Well, I didn't think it was insensitive in any way or anything. I thought, all right, cool. Like at first, I didn't know why they were showing Prince because I didn't know that's where he was from, and then obviously I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. All right, cool. unnecessary, like completely unnecessary.
Right.
I just thought it was a lame show in general.
Shows are unnecessary in general.
Well, they are 100%. Because I always think like, are they fucking up the field right now? I always think that. Are they fucking up the field in some way by rolling all that equipment in, like whatever? Like people are gonna think, no, that's nothing. But it's like, no, you're kind of.
That's probably why it takes a fucking hour.
So they can make sure rolls it out super slow, so it doesn't fuck anything up. Yeah, the beginning of the
game, the reason why the kickers were missing everything was because the fucking paint. They were slipping on the paint.
They were missing stuff. That was weird. I mean, it was a good game. I was way more enjoyable than last year's Super Bowl up until that last and I genuinely thought Brady was gonna pull it off again.
The fourth quarter was awesome last year.
No, I'm saying up until that last part, the game was whatever. But I genuinely thought Brady was going to do it. I mean, if there was another receiver with Gronk at that last play, that would have been a touchdown right there.
Right.
And then who knows, you probably have no time for what happens when you run out of time and you get a touchdown? You lose the game, right? Because you didn't score enough points?
No, they still would have let him do a 2-point conversion.
Oh, because they were only down by 8,
yeah.
Right? It wasn't 9.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Okay, so yeah, that would have been awesome. And then if Brady wanted,
wanted to overtime.
I would have wanted the Patriots to win just to hear people cry about it.
What do you think about the kid during the halftime show?
The selfie kid?
Himself on, and people are using that for fucking memes. Do you think at some point,
look, it's Conor McGregor.
Yeah, you guys got to fucking, people need to relax as a 12-year-old kid. Maybe the internet needs to chill for once.
He knows who Justin Timberlake is. Let's not make it seem like he doesn't.
I mean, I guess he's doing fucking press already.
Well, he was invited on the Ellen show and stuff. There, yeah. See, because the Ellen always does that. But anyway, no, I think anytime the Patriots play, I'm gonna be rooting for them, and not because of it's the antithesis of everyone roots against them, or the reason why everyone roots against them, because they basically represent they're like the Trump football team. That's what everyone says.
That's not why you're rooting for them?
Me? No, I didn't vote for Donald Trump.
No, I know that, but I'm saying
I want them to win because it's just going to piss a bunch of people off for stupid reasons.
So you are doing it to be fucking
But it's not because of the reasons they're saying. Yeah. I'm not doing it because, I'm the Trump supporter, so I want to I just want to see.
If you listen to any of our podcasts, I think that's pretty fucking clear.
I want to see the liberal tears, I guess. Because I enjoyed them last year when the Falcons lost. I enjoyed them because they made it seem like, Falcons are like the team. It was the perfect. Last year's Super Bowl mirrored the election so perfectly.
Right.
Because you have this team, this underdog team. You think, Bernie or Hillary, whatever, and then the upsets on both ends.
And the rich still got richer.
Brady won. And yeah, this play right here. Oh no, this isn't it. This isn't the play. But anyway, what else?
Let's talk about Black Panther real quick.
Okay.
Before we get out of here. So there's it's a bit of an alarming trend going on right now behind Black Panther, and I part of it I respect, and I wish that our community would be a little bit more like that.
Our meaning Latinos,
but at
Hispanics.
The same time, there's a reason why there's not a unification, because it's just a bunch of different cultures that seem to speak the same language. I mean, it's
Brown Jaguar. That's who we need. We need to write a
Jaguar. Exactly. Brown Jaguar beat Black Panther's ass. But there's this huge online push where Black Twitter specifically is going on people, going at people about Black Panther, about this is ours, this belongs to us. That
shit is so fucking annoying.
There was a fucking thread where they're saying like if you're not black, that you shouldn't even dress up in Black Panther costumes for Comic Cons and stuff like that.
See that those people need to be slapped in the face. All of them.
And it's just,
talking about punching Nazis. Those are just as bad in my opinion, because that's just as controlling. It's just as fascist to tell people that you can't do any. I mean,
but then on the other side, you have basically kind of alt-rightish people who are hoping the movie fucking fails, and
it's a big racial thing, and it doesn't.
It's big racial.
It's a fucking comic book movie.
It's a superhero movie, and it's there's no reason for this shit at all. And I see one of the actresses was on TMZ, and I watched her video, and what she said wasn't terrible at all. She was just like, "I'm so fucking happy about this movie right now. This is great. This is it's the first time you've ever seen an all black cast,
and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
Black writers in a huge budget movie like this before. This is a history. This is history, and we want you guys in Hollywood to know that, you know, take a chance. Like, this is gonna break box office records, and you guys, you know, you don't have to do the same thing. You can do different stuff. She didn't even say, like, doesn't have to be white. She didn't even say anything about white, and then there's still fucking white people feel threatened by it. Say like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? What is she talking about?
And it means like, exactly what she said.
Everything she was saying was like, it was positive. She was happy. She's like, not only are black people gonna come and watch this, but all the comic book nerds are gonna come watch this. Everybody's gonna come watch this movie. This movie's gonna be fucking huge. And I agree with her. I think it's gonna be pretty fucking big, and I want it to be. I'm hoping. I'm really excited for this movie. I want it to be fucking awesome. I want to see Wakanda on the big screen represented. You know, and I just, but at the same time, like, there's fucking people like just ruining it.
No, I think it's genuinely stupid to care about some. Those are the facts. I mean, those are the facts. You can literally she could have just read it off a stat sheet and probably people would have been triggered.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that she put emotion into it probably made them feel threatened. And what's dumb.
I mean, we can't really bring it up because, you know, we'll get the video get flagged. But we'll put a link maybe in the description. But you watch the video, like I was like happy for her because she was so excited. It was beautiful. It was like sweet, you know.
Well,
what I mean?
It was nice because it's good to see the bad. No, I was gonna say the bad guys. It's good to see.
It was a positive video.
It's good to see the underdogs come out on top every once in a while, and that's what it is. That's the truth for people of color. Now, there's an asterisk to that because I wish I brought the article with me, but when I was in Santa Cruz last week, or 2 weeks ago, whenever I was there, the hotel gave newspapers every day.
Yeah.
I think it was Daily News or something, whatever, and it was right around when the Oscars, the nominees came out. And it was saying, like, Oscar's not so white, but where's, like, the brown people or something. Like, Oscar's so black. Or it was something like that, like some controversial headline. And that's the reality of the situation, in my opinion, where because of the outrage or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call what it is, getting their due diligence, whatever you want to define it as, they were allowed, and they mean black people, to make movies like this because of that, right? But the fight is not over. People make it seem like they don't have anything, and that's what makes me kind of angry about Black Panther. It's like Black Twitter saying or whatever you were saying about, no, you shouldn't even go watch it. It's like, wait, what? You just elevated yourselves to the point where you guys can make Black Panther films, right? Isn't that the whole fucking argument? And you're gonna be sheltered and say, no, fuck you. Go do your own thing. This is our stuff now. Shouldn't you be bringing other people up with you? Shouldn't you be trying to say, hey, where's Brown Jaguar? You know, obviously there's no Brown Jaguar character, but you know what I'm saying. Like, where is these other Asian characters? Where is this whatever? And because I feel like Hispanics are probably Hispanics and Asians are the two least represented. But at least,
I mean, if you want to break it down on a population percentage, like Asian representation, the Asian population in this country is so minuscule that it doesn't bother me as much to not see as many Asian people on TV. But I mean, if you break it down by population percentages, like the Asian community is a very tiny part of the U.S. And although we see them here on the West Coast a lot, throughout the rest of the country, there's not that many of them. So I feel like television-wise, it's on par representation-wise. The same can't be said about Latinos.
Well, how many Mexican shows are on TV right now?
None.
Ugly Betty is like the last one I remember.
Is that still even
no,
on the air,
I don't think
man?
so. But,
you know,
but you have
Jane the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin. Okay, that's one.
But this population is growing so fast that what they're saying in the next 10 years, there's going to be more Latinos in the country than there are white people.
I believe it. I 1,000,000% believe it.
Media-wise, it's not catching up, and nobody's even talking shit about it. Nobody even cares. Other than us, and that's because we can't get fucking jobs. But I don't know. It's sad. But
well, do you think?
But back to the Black Panther thing. Like I feel like this might piss some people off. But you do realize that Black Panther was created by two white men. This isn't.
It's not like an original property.
No, it's not. It belongs to Disney. This is a character that's been popular. And I don't want to even say super popular because his series has been canceled. The character series has been canceled multiple times.
Which is why
it's on its 5th volume.
That's why it's so irritating to read these things. Like, where the fuck was everyone else?
Where the fuck were you when the comic book was out and you're not fucking reading it, but you're trying to claim ownership to it when you didn't support the book? You've never supported the book. You're still not supporting the book.
That's a fact too.
You know,
I'm sure they're only selling copies right now because the release date is so fucking close.
Right.
And it's I mean, go ahead. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No. I think that's like, I feel like, you know, you can't really take ownership for this shit because it belongs, and I said it on Twitter, like Black Panther belongs, it doesn't belong to white people, it doesn't belong to black people, it belongs to comic book nerds. It belongs to the people who are fans of the character.
Who've been supporting it long enough where they can even have a representation of it in this form at all.
And I mean, if you
and
really,
comic book readers are black, white, brown,
come in every
whatever
shape and size.
They don't care. Money doesn't discriminate.
The only thing they seem to do is hate women. But just kidding. Not really. But it's.
I have a question when you're done.
Yeah, this character is. The movie is happening not because people are trying to break down racial barriers. The movie.
Is Black Panther even a fucking movie that exemplifies racial barriers? I feel like there's better comic book characters that would show like what's happening in politics today.
If you really want to break down Black Panther and Wakanda is this one gem of a country in Africa that is richer than every country on the planet, has huge walls surrounding it, and has an elite force to protect it from invaders. So it's this isolated country that won't allow anyone fucking in.
Oh, sounds like Black Twitter.
T'Challa's kind of a dictator, and I mean, obviously he's a hero, but it's a monarchy.
He's a king, so yeah.
Yeah, they're kings, and so it's not really.
Unless you're representing Black Twitter.
The reason why the whole cast is black is not because we're trying to like advance, but it's because it takes place in Wakanda and it's supposed to be black. That's how it's always been, And when they foray out into the rest of the world, then obviously you're gonna start seeing other people. But that's the big part of it, and I don't, So I think some people might be misled by the whole like. This is not a movie made for a diverse reason. It's a movie because he's a character that's been around since the 60s.
That's what the X-Men is about, in my opinion, because that's what Stan Lee wrote for Magneto and Professor X. They were supposed to represent literally Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. They both are fighting for the same exact goal, but their means are completely different.
Yeah.
Unifying the mutants together, Magneto does it through his way, and Charles does it through his way. Same tactics, though, right? But those were literally written to be counterparts to the civil rights fucking movement, not Black Panther. And I'm not taking away from the fact that Black Panther isn't all about.
Kind of part of the civil rights, but it was a different story altogether.
But it's not like
it's not
what's going on right now in today's society.
Exactly.
There's
not really discrimination. There was never discrimination going on in Black Panther books. They just they just made a badass character. And he's an awesome character. He was my favorite.
I loved him in Civil War.
He was my favorite part of Civil War. But I
can't wait to see the movie.
I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, I just feel like why do we need more divisiveness, especially when you don't seem to know a fucking thing about the character or the intellectual properties, like his origin or anything. You just.
Well, so glad you brought that up. I'm gonna read you something. Now I don't know the context of it because it's a Facebook post,
right?
And I want to know your initial reaction to it. It says, all of this is in caps, by the way. If you are not black, do not speak on matters concerning black folks and then act like black people are obligated to acknowledge your opinion. If you're not black, do not tell a black person what is and is not racist. That's the end of it. So, do you have any opinion on that? Because I can give you mine to start it if you want.
I mean...
So I'll just give
I guess I want to say I agree to a certain extent about telling someone what is or what is not racist, because I feel like a lot of that is personal and how something makes you feel. For example, like if somebody says something that offended you and you think it was because you're black or you're Latino then you absolutely have the right to feel that way, and no other person, specifically, a white person, has the right to tell you no, that's not what that meant. Like you shouldn't feel that way. That I guess more.
So this triggered me.
I guess along the way is like no one should tell you how to feel. So okay, if something makes you feel that way, that's one thing. However, if we want to take it to the level where you're trying to get someone fired, you're trying to get someone, I don't know, you're trying to like damage someone's reputation, then that's a different story. Then that's like then you have a right to say like no, this is what's happening. There might have been a misunderstanding here, but no, but.
Well, see, what triggered me about it is I wrote it too. I feel like that type of talk promotes divisiveness. It promotes like segregation mentality, just the inverse. Because let me read it to you again. If you are not white, do not speak on matters concerning white folks and then act like white people are obligated to acknowledge your opinion. If you're not white, do not tell a white person what is and is not racist. Now, just by substituting the words, for me, changes the meaning entirely. All of a sudden, it sounds like this is something someone would say during the Jim Crow era. You know, don't tell me how I feel. You're black. Like, you're not white. This is our community. This is what I represent. You have no say-so in the matter. Because how can you tell me how I feel? You don't know what it's like to live as a white person. You can say it both ways, right? So when I read it, to me, I got triggered because I think that type of mentality, and I'm bringing this up because it ties into the whole Black Twitter thing. This whole segregation mentality is being unspoken of, but it's what's being propagated out there to, like, we're black, we're taking ownership to this, stay out. But it's like, wait, but you wanted to be united. You wanted to promote togetherness. You wanted to break down those boundaries.
I think it's a little more complicated than that, and you can't focus completely on the black community because it's happening.
Well, I'm talking about it because it's Black Panther, but it's for every group.
But it's happening right now with, if I'm a woman, men can't tell me anything. Men can't say
absolutely.
anything to me.
And what does that do? It promotes divisive. It just it creates anger and hostility.
LGBTQ community.
This is why Trump gets elected a president, in my opinion, because there's enough people who feel. Like, especially if you're a white guy.
There's a lot of subgroups splintering off and having this very, like, angry, like, this is my shit, don't talk to me about my shit.
Joe Rogan talks about how lesbians have been getting angry at transgender girls.
Women online, yeah. They've been fighting on Twitter.
And about how, like, you don't fucking get to say... You don't get to talk about women's rights when you've only been a woman for 2 years or whatever.
Well, I know it went deeper too. He talks about how, like, some of these, like,
men are beating women,
beating lesbian women, so they're still, like.
And so there's that too. Well, that's my point though. If you and my whole thing is, and that's my whole point for this Facebook post was, I didn't like someone immediately just dismissing you when you could have said the same sentiment in nicer words, in different words. Language is important. You could have said, like, if this is my business, let it be my business. There's no reason to bring race up. There's no in my opinion, you could still get that point across, or maybe just say, like, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter what it needs to be.
You have to kind of get the.
Well, it doesn't have to be absolute.
Why did they feel the need to put that post up? What happened?
I don't know. I don't know the context.
Something may have happened, and I think.
But I'm just saying that the
context always matters.
The absoluteness is what bothers me.
No, I understand.
Because it's like you can't have a discussion with someone. You can't change things if you're not even allowed a seat at the table.
No, if you're living in a world of absolutes is stupid.
Because who the fuck funded the Black Panther movie?
Right.
It sure as fuck wasn't black people, that's for sure. It was Disney. And who owns Disney? So, I mean, like, you can't bite the hand that feeds you. Because what's going to happen eventually is, and that's not what's happening now, I'm not saying that. Marvel loves all this attention, I'm sure, because it's just generating more box office revenue.
Well, how many people do you think are not going to watch the movie out of spite because of that?
Not a lot. Not a lot. It looks good. The movie looks good. I mean, the trailers to me have been underwhelming, like, just because there's a weird part of me that, like, doesn't want to pay attention and, like, read about it, but there's another part of me that wants to because I want to know more about it. So that's how I know that, like, the trailer's probably just misdirecting you entirely. Because, how the character was presented in Civil War was great. I mean, he stole the show every single time. Even him, just like when his dad dies in that bomb explosion, you gave a shit about what happened.
Right.
And you just met the guy. So, like, that already, but making a whole movie behind it, and you have Ryan Coogler at the helm, who I like, and I know he's hit and miss for you. He's not terrible in your opinion, but he's, not as good as everyone else likes to hype him up to be. And then I'm just curious to see what he brings to the table, what he was allowed to bring to the table.
I mean, if he brings a fucking music montage like he did in Creed, I'm going to be very upset.
The hip-hop montage? I mean, if they start to drive motorcycles down the street?
To a song. And, I mean, I'm already upset with them for casting his best friend as the fucking
Michael
villain.
B. Jordan?
Fucking guy just keeps getting cast and shit. And he's it's just not good. And it's fucking funny as every single fucking time someone's got to drop the fucking Wallace thing. This guy, how old was he when he fucking played Wallace? fucking 12. I don't know how
In The Wire.
Yeah, that's the same.
He was like
in
literally
The Wire,
a
he
little
was
kid.
Fucking great.
Yeah, he was literally a child.
Yeah, like come on, guys, we got to.
That's like saying
like Macaulay Culkin,
exactly.
Fucking, it's only one Elijah Wood. All right.
But it's just this one. I don't know. I want to see it. I plan to go watch it.
No, I'm gonna watch it opening weekend. I'm gonna fucking get a babysitter.
I just hate that everything is becoming so politicized. I hate that the Super Bowl was so politicized last year and this year.
Man, I'm gonna watch it in the blackest fucking.
Really don't. I'm serious. And this isn't even being racist. I've done it before. There's only certain movies you go and watch in like Baldwin Hills, Inglewood, whatever, on opening night. And unless it has Medea in the front of it, you don't want to watch it opening night. If it's Medea or like Big Mama's House, those are the best theaters to go to because it's an experience. The crowd heightens everything. You want to watch like a stupid horror movie that you know is going to be dumb or anything, that's where you go because it's just an experience. People are going to be talking to the theater like, grab the gun. Like I watched The Raid, right?
Yeah.
And I watched it at one of these theaters. And there was literally like 4 people there. So
you think there's only be 4 people for Black Panther?
No. This was an opening weekend. This was just a random showing, but it was in Inglewood. And so I wasn't expecting anything. And there's a scene towards the end like where there was a gun involved. And mind you, it's all like fist fighting. Yeah. And the black dude in the back's, oh, grab the burner! And he's just going like, him and his girlfriend, and they're just going at it. And it just...
The burner.
And it just made it hilarious. Like, it was just funny. But if you're watching Black Panther... and it actually matters to you and you actually care about that and you're getting that crowd reaction and interaction, you're going to just be like, fucking shut up. That's how you're going to murder someone.
I understand.
But if you want to be entertained because you know the movie's going to suck. Like, I would have loved to watch 50 Shades Free this weekend at one of those theaters because, like, they're always funny. Like, they just, like... oh, white girl, blah, blah, blah.
You think black people are going to went to watch that
yes!
movie?
When 50 Shades of Grey came out, I tried to go watch it, and it was fucking sold out. I'm not even kidding.
You sure it wasn't all the Mexicans?
It could have been, but at Baldwin Hills, it's both. It's a mixture. Okay. No white people, just blacks and Mexicans for sure. And this is not me being racist. I mean, a lot of people out there are gonna be like, God, he's fucking racist. But yeah, don't go there to watch Black Panther.
I think Aaron Lee Dowell and Cthulhu's Prodigy are going to be laughing and agreeing with
the only two black people
that listen to our show.
But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually probably going to see it in IMAX if they have it in IMAX.
One last quick thing. The last full podcast we had where the Aziz Ansari, I think that was our last podcast. I made a comment about my conspiracy theory when it comes to these diversity.
Oh yeah, you didn't go into it.
And fuck, this might be something that might get me in trouble down further on the line. I think that this push for the LGBT community in film, cinema, writers' rooms, etc., is just another way for white people to get more white people into writing rooms, into productions, and so on.
Are you saying that like when Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner and how she won Woman of the Year, like immediately, like all these women before, it took a white man to win the Best Woman award?
It's kind of, it's out there, but I think I looked at it this way, man. All these studios do diversity programs to get like different writers of different backgrounds.
And I've heard varying stories about how they're not as some are like some make you have like I forget which program it is. I wish I could look it up, but it's a program that forces you to increase the stereotypes. So if they picked you because you're black, they want more black in it. They want to blacken it up or Mexicanize it more or whatever.
There's definitely
been unwritten rules.
There's things that go along with it, and there's actually a podcast I listened to with Dan Harmon that's really fucking depressing called Whiting Wongs. It's him and this Chinese staff writer that he has, and she talks about like a lot of the stuff. And in the
Whiting Wongs,
and the song is hilarious. It's hella racist.
That's funny.
She talks about how like they bring on, they bring people onto the show, and have them talk about like their experiences. And one of the things is like, you know, like if you're the one black person, like anytime any black characters are written, they like look to you to make sure you give approval and shit, to the point.
Is this what black people would eat?
Yeah, to the point where you're uncomfortable. Like, come on, man, I just want to fucking write and be a part of this, and you're making me that one person. But the diversity programs have a lot of issues. But one of the issues that I saw, and this happened recently because someone I know got into one of these programs, was he's a gay white dude from Michigan, but him being gay counted as diversity. And when you're already looking at the numbers and how they're broken down in writers' rooms,
might as well get a gay white guy. I mean, well, see, I think what needs to be said is, I don't think you're saying that this is the reason why, but I think that systematically, this is what happens. Just by virtue of how the system works. Unless you're actually saying that you believe that there's people out there subconsciously, or not subconsciously, but consciously.
No. I think it's.
Oh, I'm gay and I'm white, so I'm going to be able to get this job.
I think it's subconscious. I mean, I don't think, and I mean, maybe diversity programs are wrong in themselves, and that's a completely different podcast as well. But I think that is an issue where there's already only fucking 3 Latino writers. This shows that this podcast has already had 20-something episodes. They haven't had one fucking Latino writer in the room. I've actually thought about emailing in and saying, "Hey, what's going on right now? You haven't
fuck Dan Harmon.
You haven't talked about any Latino issues. Everything happened is about black people, LGBT, and Asian people. Like, obviously she's Chinese,
so that makes sense. Yeah,
you know. But you've brought an Asian guest. They even had Middle Eastern guests on. You know, but not one Latino.
Fuck. And Mexicans play Middle Easterns. Yeah. There's not even any Middle Easterns in fucking Hollywood.
I mean, you jest, but I'm just saying, like, these are real, like.
So you're saying that there's only a certain amount of spots for Mexicans anyway, for people who are in diversity programs anyway, and then you're going to give up the already small spots to these other groups.
Yeah,
that may or may not even have justifiable reasons for being segregated or whatever.
And I mean, that's a whole.
I don't know what the word is.
I'm not anti-LGBT community at all. You know,
well, I'm fucking anti-Zerd whatever.
I mean, that's a different story. The whole gender pronouns. That's a fucking completely.
Because if they're gonna get spots over a fucking Latino or a black guy or an Asian guy or even a gay guy, I'll be pissed. Like, to me, that would be like, because I'm woman today, so I'm just gonna get it. Like, that's not how the fucking world works. Like, if that's how it worked, fuck, I'll be a woman for an application to get a job. Like, fuck yeah,
it could be, but
that's not what's gonna happen.
No, and it's just like, it's just opening another can of worms, and I just think we're still not past these fucking struggles for people of color, and now fucking people of color are getting jumped over by gender pronouns.
It's like Ben Shapiro says,
and bisexuality and things like that. And I don't, you know,
Ben Shapiro
the struggle
says,
is not the fucking same, man.
He always says that the game that's being played right now is who has suffered the most, like who has gone under the most scrutiny.
Right.
If you're a lesbian, Native American, whatever, then you're like top of the food chain.
How many boxes you check off.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, when people like Ben Shapiro say it, you automatically dismiss it. Oh, he's a person on the right. He doesn't understand, like, people on the left and what the struggles of people are, etc. He's a white man, blah, blah, blah. But you have to take a step back and say, you know what, there's some validity to that. Because you have to be able to acknowledge that, unfortunately, there are going to be abuses to the system. And not just the system, but just people. That people are going to have fucked up minds. And I'm not saying that if you're gay, you have a fucked up mind. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, you know, not everyone. I feel like putting your trust into every single soul to do the right thing is the wrong move all the time. Because not everyone's trustworthy. So there might be people out there who are like, oh, I can check these boxes off and get these extra rights or benefits. Does that mean everybody? No. It's just like the transgender bathroom things. Are there people who probably could have, like, touched children in the bathrooms because of this law? I'm sure, without a shadow of a doubt. But that's that enough to, like, stop having whatever the hell, blah, blah, blah. But if you go far enough, and this is my whole point, if you go far enough, you go into that realm of, like, oh, I'm this pronoun today, or I'm whatever. What does that even mean? How does that get decided? How can you prove that you're a woman or a man, however you identify as? Like, Are you going to start to give those people rights too?
It's changing.
It's the difference between being a man and wanting to become a woman, and vice versa.
I mean, the big argument too is like you're trying to completely change society for a very, very, very,
small
very,
people,
very tiny.
How many people have you run across that were not affiliated with college campuses in any way that were actually doing this?
None.
I think that's the biggest point there.
Right.
Me either. Unless it's like literally, unless you're dealing with college campus stuff. Whether that's through a social activist group that's run out of a college or just college students or like younger kids in general, no one's talking about this shit. No one encounters these things. People who like cross-dress or transgender, I don't think I've ever encountered. No, I have. But that's not like, what? This is weird. Because it's like, okay, there's some people out there, that's what they want to do. And we respect, me at least, I think you do too. You respect anyone's decision to do whatever the fuck they want to do at any point. I think when it comes into question is like if it's running by taxes and things like that, if I'm paying for these things, is that something that I want to pay for or whatever?
Yeah, that's broke. That's a different
argument.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, though, if you were to see a transgender person down the street, you're not going to necessarily think that they're like making shit up. They're clearly had a sex change or whatever, as opposed to like, I'm the 65-year-old guy who's pretending to be a 12-year-old girl.
I mean, my philosophy has always been like, as long as it doesn't affect me or my life in any way, then you can do whatever the fuck you want to, you know. And someone,
well, having to like, okay, what if we follow the path of Canada? Because California is super fucking liberal.
Well, yeah,
and Canada has like, if you
going fucking nuts.
And if you start, if you don't call someone by the right pronoun or whatever, like, but that can affect you though. That's my point.
And that's where I'm with you. Like then you're getting to a certain point where where now I have to I'm getting uncomfortable and I have to guess because you made some shit up. You know,
you're supposed to ask. Actually,
I'm not.
If you never met someone, that's what they tell you. If you've never met someone,
it's not okay for me to ask someone what their ethnicity is. It's okay for me to ask someone what their fucking gender is.
What your pronoun is.
Once again, we're fucking jumping past people that are actually oppressed. You know, for other people making up. I don't even want to say. I mean, that's just. I'll get into fights with people. Like
no, I understand what you're saying though. That's what I'm getting
at
though.
I'm with you, and I think
that you got to let them talk because they need the right to speak.
Absolutely.
They need the right to assemble, to create their own groups, to have these factions out there that can unite and coalesce together and try to convince people or whatever. They have that right, just like the fucking Nazis do, just like the Nazis. I mean, the Nazis. Excuse me, I said that twice. The KKK and communist parties, whatever in America. I support every one of those groups. I might not put my money to them, but the existence, the idea, the concept that all these people have a voice is important because you start to strip those away, then all of a sudden you're left with nothing. And that's kind of like these things. Yeah, you can have your opinion, but you can't start affecting.
You shouldn't strip them away. What you should do is ignore them. That's
exactly.
If you don't give them any power,
but if you start changing laws, you're giving them power. You're making it seem like it's real.
You start bringing this shit up.
When those same people are saying that biology is not real, that there's no difference between a man and a woman, it's like that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
it is bullshit.
It is bullshit. No,
and there's no problem with the differences. That's why there's a male and a female.
Like, please don't bring up social science when we talk about science,
or just science in general.
Yeah,
there is a sex when you're born.
Yeah,
that's it. Period.
If you have a complaint, you can complain about the name that was made up for it how many thousands of years ago. That's okay. You can do that. Like
the thing that Joe Rogan brings up that I didn't even know before the podcast is like these parents who are doing like they're using the gender blockers.
I'm completely fucking against that. You should not let children make decisions like that.
Gender blockers, so like you can decide your sex
that's
later.
That's child abuse. I feel those people need to be fucking imprisoned. That's really,
and because there's doctors who are allowing them to do it.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy.
Those doctors need to be in prison.
They do because it's
society.
They're not even developed yet.
This is like that's going way, way, way too fucking far.
I think if it were in the future, thousands of years in the future, if you could like purposefully, like when you're 18, you decide, okay, I have skin down in my crotch. Is it going to be a penis or a vagina? And you can make that decision based on your life experience or whatever. Some fucking thousands of years in the future. Whatever, fine.
Mean, if you're creating fucking
that's what I'm saying.
Test tubes and shit.
For that point, okay, fine. But right now in 2018, when that's not the case, and you're literally hindering a child's development because you don't even know the outcome of what that's going to be because this whole procedure hasn't even been along that long to actually see generations of like testing and stuff. I don't know. I just think it's absurd. And it's not, I think we turned this into like a hate podcast, or we're going to be perceived as a hate podcast.
It's not a hate podcast, but there's stuff like that. Like when it comes to kids, you don't.
People are fucking afraid to just voice their opinions about real kids, things. Man. And that's the thing, like something like that. But anyway, I think we've extinguished this conversation.
Just to put a button on this, when you're thinking about oppression and thinking about how tough things are for you, ask yourself this question. Is your current president trying to build a wall to keep people that look like you out of the fucking country?
I'm sure. Well, do you think he'd build a wall in West Hollywood? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
So there you go.
There you go.
Or he's not trying to ban you from flying into his country either.
Or that.
What else?
I mean,
trade deals. China has bad trade deals. Apparently, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of other racist shit he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, and the funny thing is, the ironic thing about all of this is, Donald Trump is the first president who was a supporter of the LGBT.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Like, he can actually rep that one, and no one else can, like, take it away.
Right.
I mean, fucking Obama didn't support it. Gay marriage. Clinton didn't support it. You know, all these people that, you know, the people are championing on the left.
He's the first full-on board guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Because he, hate him or love him, he understands that the money that gay people earn is still green. So, whatever. I don't know.
Not tax-free, milking off the government like you fucking Mexicans.
And MS-13. Yeah. Like, he brought up MS-13 like a million times.
The gang
and I'm not talking shit about MS-13, you know. No. People out there who are watching our podcast.
Don't put that in the tag.
Throw it up.
Just like, no, I'm not going to throw it up. But I'm just saying, like, I thought it was very rude of the president to talk so badly about you guys on the State of the Union address. As a Mexican, every time he said that shit, I was getting annoyed. Like, I wish a Mexican would just slap him in the face.
I mean,
because he was just comparing, like, MS-13 to illegal immigrants every single time. It's just creating that bridge.
It's typical, like, right-wing rhetoric.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the same literally the same thing Hitler did.
When people talk about gun control, the first thing someone says is Chicago. They talk about Chicago. Oh, what about all the gun deaths in Chicago? And it's like, the problem with that argument is the people killing each other in Chicago are fucking criminals. So they're obtaining weapons illegally. And they're shooting other criminals. And all of these things are happening.
And then sometimes innocent bystanders.
Sometimes innocent bystanders. But let's be honest, they're fucking people of color. They're black people and they're Latino people. So we don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? So,
as a country, not you and I.
No. Yeah, I mean, if you don't get my point. Then,
well, some people might not.
Okay. You can't make that comparison because these gangbangers, these fucking drug dealers, whatever, they're sticking to their own. And they're sticking to their own neighborhoods. You never hear about a shootout happening in
downtown Chicago
next to Wrigley Field or anything like that. It's all on the south side. It's all
in this one area,
all in the ethnic neighborhoods. You know,
and there's reasons as to why they're there. We're not going to be naive to that.
I'm not gonna bring that. But what I'm saying is that shit is contained. It doesn't spill out. And
once it does, that's when people get involved.
Exactly,
like crack.
And that's where people that are against guns, that want gun control, have their issue because. You have to worry about some random guy that's on fucking Xanax and a million other fucking
gonna shoot up a fucking thing
coming into a movie theater shooting up, or the guy in fucking Vegas. I mean,
the kids who died,
and this is all the connection to that is all pharmaceuticals. I mean, but that's another fucking podcast in itself. But that's the reason why people are upset. There's gun issues in fucking Chicago. You can't use it because it's fucking criminals killing criminals, so on and so forth. And I think that's like people don't want to look past that. You know.
Well, people don't want to. They don't want to acknowledge the pharmaceutical thing as a reality. Trump has, though. I will give credit that Trump has done that.
You are slowly turning into a fucking Trumper.
No, I'm not. I really am not. There's an article though that you mentioned the pharmaceutical thing. It was a
Trumper.
A Trumper. A Washington Post article. Here's the headline: A town of 3,200 was flooded with nearly 21 million pain pills as addiction crisis worsened. Lawmakers say. So over the past 10 years, nearly 21 million prescription painkillers have shipped to a tiny town in West Virginia, a state where more people have overdosed on opioids than any other in the nation. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Oh, the fucking
20.8 hydrocodone and oxycontin.
Did you ever see that documentary, The Wild Whites of West Virginia?
No.
It's about this white trash family that has been like getting into trouble with the law for the past 100 years. Like every generation, the same
fucking family just
and
hates America.
They're all addicted to fucking opioids. They're all addicted to oxycodones and shit like that. Like all of them have gotten in trouble, and you can see like when the girls are younger, like that they're pretty, and
then all of a sudden they just look like
face. They get that face that gets fucking just
crackhead face.
Like, yeah, because all the drugs they're doing. But it's West Virginia. Funny enough. They're hillbillies. It's all in the mountains, man.
Well, they I think it was history, hardcore history. Dan Carlin. I think he said that like something in the water. There was some contaminant in the water that actually made people in the South stupid.
Really?
Something, or it was like I forget what it was.
So it's not fluoride.
I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. It was something. It was something like something like that.
Dr. Strangelove was right.
Yeah, no, it was something. It was dead serious.
Yeah.
It was something like that, and it was like that they had this disease, and that's why they were like rednecks, like what you think is a redneck, like the dude from The Simpsons. Like it caused people to do that, and it was like some brain disorder. Maybe it wasn't Dan Carlin. I don't know. It was someone on the Joe Rogan podcast, but I found it interesting. You know, it's just 21 million pills for a town of 3,200. That's 6,500 a piece, according to this. And for what? For what?
To get fucking high.
I know, but I mean, it's like, it's stupid, and you can't even have marijuana. You can't have marijuana, and it would solve most of these problems.
In San Francisco, they're talking about,
which is a 35-cent fucking tax, by the way, in California right now, which is fucking ridiculous.
30%.
35. It depends on what city you're in.
You said 35 cent.
Oh, 35%. Sorry, 35%.
No, did you hear about what the mayor of San Francisco is proposing?
What?
Opening up like basically like needle centers for heroin addicts to go and shoot up. Like they're giving them spots to go shoot up at.
Shit.
And because
I kind of agree with that.
Because the fucking
I'm on board with that.
The dirty needles getting left at public parks is so fucking bad that he's like, okay, well, maybe if we open these centers up, they won't be leaving their shit at parks anymore.
I think I agree with that.
Get clean needles.
I would support that. I would vote for that.
People are fucking up in arms.
I would vote for that. I don't know if I'd leave it in San Francisco. Like, I don't know how you would do it, like where you would put it, et cetera, like how you would regulate that. How do you make sure it doesn't spill out in the streets? How do you like avoid tent cities from popping up around there? You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely logistical concerns which need to be addressed, but the concept of it, I'm with it. I mean, they're in The Wire. I know it's a TV show, but in The Wire, the cops made a deal at one point. Like, you guys can deal drugs here. Don't fucking come past these corners. Don't go any here. You stay here. We'll stay out of your business.
Same deal they have in Chicago.
We'll stay out of your business. Every year, we're gonna bust some people. So you're gonna have to give us some people every year to make arrests. You know, some bigger guys, whatever. But you stick to your corners. We'll leave you alone as long as you don't come in here. You come out of here, we're gonna fucking kill you all, but without killing. We're gonna like put you all in jail, etc. And that was like the deal, and everything worked out fine. And it wasn't until people started going outside of that deal was where shit started going outside, going wrong. But sometimes you have to do the hard thing in order to solve the problem. You know, like legalizing drugs. If all drugs were legal, a lot of people would die immediately. Like, not day one, but like
that's one
in
way
the year
of looking at it.
In 1 year, if you legalized heroin, if you legalized like every single drug on the planet, just 100% legal. You have to be over 21, et cetera, but it was legal.
Some people would go ham.
And they would die.
Fatality.
100%. And what it would do, though, is eventually, over time, allow parents to teach their kids, schools to teach them, like, this is heroin, you don't want to do this.
Some people think that having these things will, like...
It also stops illegal trade.
It'll maybe get people to think about rehabs if you're, like...
If you're seeing your family go through it, if you're seeing these things...
Yeah, and you're, like, offering help that maybe if people would take the help. Whereas, like, right now, all they're doing is people get locked up and then they get put back on the street.
And then it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And they can get the smack in jail, too.
My biggest argument, I saw people like, well, why my tax dollars shouldn't have to pay for this shit, whatever. It's like, you know what?
Because it keeps a clean city clean. I don't need to pay a worker to fucking...
man. It's like, you're going to end up paying for it anyways.
Right.
Because what's the other solution? There's only two solutions.
You kill them,
I mean, it's a third solution, but I'm saying you put them in prison. You either imprison them,
which you're paying for. They're getting more health care and everything else than anyone else in the fucking world.
For them. And no, hey, prison does not rehabilitate. This has been proven. Like, very few people come out like better
unless you do it Norway style, which is like
open to unlocked doors.
Yeah, and it's just like all right, you're gonna only the dude who killed all those people, those 50 people on that island, he got 20 years. That was maximum sentence. But they try every single day to make you normal.
Right.
They want you to be contained, and they're gonna teach you to like be normal. But that's it. They're not gonna put you in a fucking hole and whatever. And that's not gonna work for everybody. Like the guy who got 20 years, I don't think he's gonna change. The fact that he killed fucking all those people, but they can reevaluate and do whatever, etc. But prison's never the option. And you could put him on an island too. You could put him on Alcatraz. Don't rent it out for tourism anymore. Put him on Alcatraz, see what happens. But you still have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's, and obviously I was joking when I said kill him.
Right.
We talked about it in another podcast.
One way or another, you're paying for it. So don't fucking come at me with my tax dollars shouldn't have to pay for this shit because your tax dollars.
And actually, when anyone says that, even when I said it earlier about like the whole like gender pronoun thing, if my taxpayer, like I'll be up in arms against it. But there's so many fucking things that my tax dollars go to that I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter who's the president. I don't know what military jet I bought this month or et cetera. Like, I don't fucking know what airstrike I've participated in by paying my taxes or whose private fund I'm funding because they're out going and fucking hookers or whatever those Secret Service agents were doing a few years ago.
The president's trip to his fucking resort in
exactly.
Mar-a-Lago.
So it's just, I mean, there's a lot of things to complain about, but I don't know. I think we did an hour longer than we thought we were gonna do.
110.
I think that'll put a wrap on that. Thanks for listening. You know the drill. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And if you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Overcast, especially iTunes, more than anything, like make sure to leave a review, 5 stars, please, and it helps other people find the show. That's really what the key to the reviews are. And if you're on SoundCloud, we always love interactions, so make sure to comment while you're listening, and we'll do our best to respond. So far, the only person that does that is Coogler's Prodigy, and we appreciate that. He hasn't done it in a fucking month, so.
But we haven't posted a podcast.
Yeah, we haven't. We have not. But yeah. So, anyways, that's gonna do it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.